Hello, my name is Teacher Carrie, and I have been teaching for almost 5 years now. I am an online English teacher, and I also teach drawing. I am an artist, and I also have a love for learning languages. I've been learning Chinese since 2008. 你好，我叫李瑞一，我是英文老师。Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video today. I wanted to talk about my experience of teaching on Preply. I have taught on different platforms before, and I've also taught independently. Preply is the perfect place for you to feel like you are teaching as an independent teacher, while also having the support from a third-party platform. And what I mean by that is Preply has its own policies and procedures. So, as a teacher on their platform, you have to adhere to those policies, but they're not extremely strict. There's nothing you really have to worry about other than just being aware of their policies. So, whether that's like, for example, attendance policy. As an independent teacher, you have to communicate your policies to your students, hold those students accountable to showing up to class on time, attending their lessons, and if they can't attend their lessons, notifying you ahead of time. So, Preply has its own policies. So, if your student doesn't adhere to the policy, you can follow those policies and Preply will support you. If your student doesn't show up to class, but they are disputing that they don't want to pay, Preply will say, no, according to our policy, you do have to pay for that time slot because you scheduled the class and your teacher expected you to be there. So that's a really good positive to that. The only downside is that, well, it's not even a downside, it's just something to be aware of. If you have a lesson with a student and you both are in attendance, the student still has to confirm manually that the class went well and that the class was taught. So sometimes students are busy, they'll forget to press that button to confirm the class. When that happens, they have 3 days to confirm the class on their own or report a problem. If they don't report a problem, then it automatically is confirmed. So that's really nice. You just have to wait a few days before you receive your payment, but in the end, you will receive it. The other thing is, if you show up to class but your student does not, Preply will not automatically confirm the class after 3 days because their system will know that the student wasn't there. So at that point, you just need to contact the student, and if you don't hear from them, you can open up a ticket for Preply, and Preply will look into it for you and solve the problem. So I've only had to use the Preply support team a few times just to deal with some scheduling problems or maybe an attendance issue. But every time they've been very pleasant to work with and very happy to solve those issues. Another reason that I like to teach on Preply is that they have their own curriculum that you can follow. So you don't have to make a lesson plan on your own. The only problem is at least half of my students don't like the Preply curriculum, or they've already completed it and now they want to continue to learn. But obviously they can't relearn the same materials. So with those students though, typically I'm bringing articles to the classroom. We're reading them together, having a discussion. They're asking me questions, and I help them understand anything that doesn't make sense. So there's so many different ways that you can teach students on Preply, and that's what I think is so amazing. Also, you can teach people of any age. I have small children who uh, their parents communicate with me to book the classes, and then I teach the children. I also have adult learners. Uh, Most of my adult learners are intermediate to advanced, and we work on conversational skills. Um, but some of my students are lower level, and we focus on grammar, building vocabulary, and really strengthening those basic conversational skills that are so important, especially when traveling abroad or even uh, living abroad and immigrating to a new country. Because teachers are teaching independently on the Preply platform, you have your ability to create your own hourly rate. So typically starting out on Preply, they recommend that your pricing is about 9 USD per hour. Um, because if you don't have any students, any reviews, people don't know the quality of your teaching. They want to see that you have some real experience and that you've taught many students. So starting out at that lower price range is good for that reason, to really get people to become your students, to get used to the platform, and to really showcase that you are a good teacher. And as you keep your students, so your students keep taking lessons with you, that shows that you're a good teacher. So at that point, you can raise your prices. You can raise them gradually. For me, I raised mine by like 1 USD every once in a while. And really, it's when you notice your schedule is starting to fill up, you're becoming popular, there's a demand for your classes. That's when the value of your class is going to go up. And what's really nice about Preply is when you raise your price, it doesn't raise the price for your current students. So you don't have to explain to your students why your price is increasing, why they have to suddenly pay more. It's going to really build good rapport with your current students. For your future students, they'll be paying that higher price because uh, that is a more accurate price to the value that they're receiving from your skills, from the help that you're providing them with learning their language. So there's one downside to Preply, and it's one of those things where you have to think about the long-term value that you'll be receiving. So unlike other platforms, when you teach the first lesson with your student, the trial lesson, it's 1 hour long, and the student pays, but the teacher doesn't get any money from that first lesson. If they like the class that they took with you, they can purchase a package of classes that can only be used to take lessons with you. And from that point forward, you will receive the money from the class minus the commission fee that they take out. But what's really nice and something that I look forward to is after so many classes, they decrease the commission amount. So as you teach more, as you build your portfolio on the site, uh, they're taking less fees out of each class, so you'll start to earn more, even if you don't change your hourly rate. So if you are increasing your hourly rate over time as the demand for your classes increases, you will notice that your income will start to increase. You'll start earning more. But earlier on, when you're getting your students, you will feel like you aren't making any money. For example, taught I've taught 40 free trial lessons. So that's 40 hours of unpaid working. But for some of those students, I've taught over 30 lessons with just uh, one student. That 1 hour of donated time has the potential to bring you repeat customers, repeat students who are loyal to you and will continue to take classes with you as long as you continue to do a good job and provide them with what they're looking for. If you give students an advance notice, 99% of the time, they will be happy to reschedule a lesson if you are sick, if you have something important that has come up at the usual time that you have lessons. Um, Students are really understanding, and so you can actually reschedule a lesson on your end without it looking like you've canceled a lesson, without it affecting your statistics or the amount that your classroom shows on the search list when someone's looking for a new teacher. Um, the only time that you're affected is if you actually cancel a class without rescheduling it. That's when it can look bad for the algorithm, really. It's just the algorithm that's being affected by that. And you really uh, want to be sure you never miss a trial lesson. If you miss 5 trial lessons, you are banned from the platform for like forever, I think. So just be mindful that when you have slots open that you're able to attend them. Um, yeah. And sometimes things happen, so just make sure that you talk to your students so you can reschedule them rather than cancel them. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I answered your questions about the Preply platform, but of course, if there's anything I missed, please post a comment below and I will be sure to reply. And maybe I will even make a follow-up video. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.